All right, guys, welcome. This is Seminar 5 of our Accounting Concepts class. We are going to start Chapter 13, which is the last chapter we're going to focus on, and that chapter is all about cash flows. This is the fourth of the required financial statements. You have income statement, the balance sheet, statement of retained earnings, and then here's the cash flow statement. Now myself, I'm a finance and an accounting person, but I started into the business world. My first degree was a bachelor's in finance, and from a perspective of a finance person, the cash flow statement is the most important statement because it tells you how the company is making money. There's three areas or parts, if you will, classifications of items that go onto the cash flow statement. The first one is operating activities. So it's cash generated from operating activities. Now, operations is the reason that you're in business. This is what you do. It's the stuff you sell or it's the service you provide in order to receive revenue for. So that's the most important. If the cash flow is positive there, that's actually a good sign. So if you do that section, if you end up with a positive number as opposed to a negative number or something that you would put in parentheses, that's a good thing. You should be making money from the reason that you're in business. The other two sections, the financing activity and the investing activity. The investing activities are things that you're going to do for yourself. So either adding something for yourself, for your company, or taking something away. So if you buy a new factory, that's a use of cash in the investing activity because you're investing in yourself by buying a new factory. If you sell a piece of equipment, let's say you sell a delivery truck, that's a source of cash because you're getting cash for that delivery truck, and that delivery truck itself is an investment in yourself. The financing activities have to do with things like dividends and selling additional stock. So it's ways that money comes in and out of essentially the retained earnings and the stockholders' equity section. So it's okay if you have positives or negatives there. Oftentimes in the investing activities, that will actually be negative. There actually will be more money going out than coming in. That's not necessarily a bad thing because you could be growing and you need a new plant or a new factory. So there would be cash spent there. And from an investing activity, it's okay if you got money coming in or if you got money coming out. Maybe you didn't sell any additional stock this year, but you paid out dividends. So again, there's going to be a negative in the financing activities, and that's okay. That's not necessarily a big deal one way or another. The big thing is what's happening with operating activities. That's why there are the three sections to this particular form, and that's why that's the most important section, the operating activities, and that's why it's the most important form, because there's a lot of window dressing you can do in a balance sheet or in an income statement to make things look a little bit better, but you can't lie cash flow. You're either got cash moving around or you don't have cash moving around. So that's why it's an important statement. So here we are in Seminar 5. There's our Chapter 13. That's all about the statement of cash flows. We're going to be working on this chapter for 2 weeks. So you'll notice that we have our normal discussion questions, but we don't have any problems due this week. The problems are actually due next week, and that's to give you some more time to work on this cash flow project. So just like has happened in the last few weeks, you have something assigned this week that's due next week. So see, this is due Tuesday of Seminar 6. Again, kind of a big deal. It's worth 100 points. Here's the document that'll give you some instruction, and it's actually a problem, an alternative problem in the book at the end of Chapter 13. So that'll tell you what that's all about. And then our second assignment that's actually due this week is an ethics case. Ethics is really important in the field of business, specifically in the field of accounting or finance. And so that's what this deal is all about here. And here's you just click on this link, it'll tell you what you need to know. Here's the rubric that I'm going to use to grade it. And this again gets submitted to an assignment link. So when you're ready to go, you'll just click on the title and submit your assignment. We have the usual participation. You guys have been doing pretty good for that. So no more needs to be said there. The cash flow statement is not a long or a difficult statement, but it can be kind of challenging the first few times you go through here. This is really your first exposure to this. You were exposed to the concept of a cash flow statement and basically how it works way back in Accounting 121, but you had not had to create one. That changes. So you'll have to work on the three parts of those statements and then eventually create one. There's two different methods. There's the indirect method, which focuses on sources and uses of cash, and then there's the direct method. Although the book will talk about both, this particular cash flow project is on the indirect method. The direct method you will learn when you get to intermediate accounting. The indirect method has a tendency to be a little bit easier. The aha moment seems to happen a little faster for folks. So you get that in your first year of accounting classes. When you get beyond your basic accounting courses and you get into the intermediate series, you will be using the direct method for most of the stuff that you're going to do from that point forward. More businesses use the direct method than the indirect method. Mostly smaller businesses use the indirect method, but anybody reporting to the SEC, any large corporation that's trading on one of the exchanges that have to file paperwork, they're going to be using the direct method. But for our purposes in this class, we only have to worry about the indirect method. So take advantage of the discussion board. I've posted a couple of videos out there already. I have one that talks directly about cash flow statement itself, and then I have another one that is about the indirect method. So make sure you view both of those. And I'll be putting some information out there like I usually do about cash flow statements for you, and don't hesitate to ask questions as you start working on this. Again, this problem is going to take you a little bit, so like usual, don't wait till the last minute to start asking your questions. Start working on that a little early. Get your discussion exercises done, but I would from that point on just kind of keep this stuff fresh in your mind. I would work on this project. All right, see you guys in class.